Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to My Comeback Channel News. I'm Fabiano Iha, the king of armbar.
And I'm Heather Storm, the queen of the rear naked choke.
Always sounds so much better. Anyway, we got a lot to talk, we got a lot to view and review.
We're going to talk about women's fighting today. We're going to talk about some of Ronda Rousey and a lot that's going on with that. We're going to talk about some drug tests coming out clean, like we always do. We like to hear that news. And we're going to talk about the UFC back in Japan, as well as some hacking that went on to the UFC.com.
And we're going to go on the history of MMA with some great interview with Pat Militant.
That's right.
There we go.
So starting out, we have the queen of the armbar. She does exist.
I don't know how she got that. I'm the king. I never
You need to
slept
meet the
with
queen.
her. So how she got that queen?
Has nothing to do with you. Some things don't.
I know,
it's sad.
Just move it on. Let's move it on.
Ronda
She's
Rousey.
doing good. Anyway, she's got all the fights in the first round by armbar. But what's going on?
She's going to be the first woman to join UFC. Perhaps. She's the first person to tweet that she was joining UFC as a woman. Miesha Tate's not so happy about that, but regardless, I mean, there have been huge steps for women in MMA, and Ronda is just an example of the steps that they've been taking and the leaps that we've made, and it's huge.
Well, but again, she's not the only one. I think she is, she's doing great. She's very good looking. And they help. They help. Believe me, they help. They'll help on the guys. Why not on the girls? The guys that being around, that they walk in very good shape and they look good.
For sure.
They, let's go a little bit back. Let's say Oscar De La Hoya example on boxing. Why Oscar De La Hoya was able to sold out, and he was able to sold out to a lot of females. Because they want to see him. Was a good-looking white boy.
Right, publicity. The more publicity you can make. And she talks a lot, too. I mean, she has a tendency to call out the fighters and say, you know what? And that's part of it. It brings publicity to the sport. It brings publicity for herself. And she's done a great job for women in MMA. I mean, she won the Olympic gold medal in judo in 2008. This isn't a person who isn't trained. I mean, this woman is trained to the T.
So, the problem is, Miesha Tate is not happy if, Ronda getting all the credit.
Well, of course not. She beat her ass.
Well, but the point is, the credit should be split into all the good, the good female fighters that be around. I'm particular big, huge fan of Gina.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Gina also, in my opinion, she used to be one of the most good-looking girl.
Oh yeah.
On the fight.
She's hot,
okay,
for
she's
sure.
very hot.
Yeah.
Like I have a pressure to do like a video with her. And like first of all we started like on the training section, and she was not that hot. Definitely, good punching, good kicking, everything on that particular case. And then we have another scene that we're supposed to be dressed up. And when she came out of the locker room, I was like, holy crap.
Who is this girl?
It's like, where'd that come from?
Whole nother girl.
And yeah, it was like, again, she's moved over. She's on the movies now.
They're only at like the 135. I mean, Ronda's at 135 weight class, so we're not talking about too big of girls. But I'll tell you what, she packs a punch, and every person has been submitted in the first round by an armbar.
I know we have a picture that I put together with all the girls, like all them together. So let's see if they find that and put that up. Again, we live, and it'd be great to see that picture. Like that is,
I have not seen this picture.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, that show, like the quality of each one, besides just the fighting game,
Well, it's interesting, and this is a great thing for women because, like you said, a lot of women have been working very hard to pave the way to get where it is now. And it's not just Ronda, it's everyone who paved the way to get where they are now.
And again, guys, if this sport is tough for guys, can you guys imagine for girls? Like, again, it's very, very tough. Anyway, that is the picture right there, as you can tell. You see, they all look great. Gina, I like that, the whole, well, I like her.
She's your favorite, we get it.
Anyway. And Ronda is getting there, So anyway.
Ronda's my favorite, I'll keep that.
There you go. Anyway, you guys have that vision in the house, so you get your own opinion. Anyway, Cowan and Nelson.
They passed the drug test.
I'm not
Free
surprised.
and clear,
You know, I'm not surprised. Well, Nelson, if I have to say either one or the other one was using some kind of, supplement, I say Nelson because he's been losing weight. He's been looking better and better every single time. So, just look like credit to his nutrition.
Yeah, he's been training the right way. Let's give credit to training
not
hard.
On that shape, not
no,
on that shape.
That's
that's an old video that he have from him, but he's definitely like now in better shape. You kind of can see, you start to see almost some pecs there. He used to have one full one.
I'm always amazed when they can look out of shape to me and still beat somebody, I'm like, they haven't been training so hard. They got a little tub or something,
I like him, he's a tough guy. He's like, he is there all the way to the end. He's taking beatings sometimes like crazy, And of course, Cowan, he is the former UFC champion. And I think he will be back, fighting for the belt soon.
Yeah, he was the Ring of Fire heavyweight champion, to be exact. But he lost his two. He had lost his two last fights though.
Yeah, he did lost his last two fights, but again, I think he's coming back. After this one, he built him back. That's the way it is. Anyway, the bottom line is both pass for the test. They gonna be fighting December 15th at Hard Rock Cafe in Las Vegas.
And you can catch that live on FX Network.
Anyway, guys, we're going to the commercial. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Stick around.
We are back. Not only we are back.
Yes, we are back.
And UFC also be back.
In Japan.
So before we go to that segment, I want to ask you, you know who fought in UFC number 2? UFC Japan number 2. Let's clear that up.
Tell me. You!
Of course I did.
I should have known the answer.
I did, and I was able to knock out Dajiro Takahashi. It was a Japanese guy, and I'm half Japanese.
I was just going to say, you're half Japanese too.
Yeah, but he was full Japanese. So it was full blood against half blood. And it was cool. It's cool that he tried to armbar me on the beginning of the fight.
How can you armbar the king of armbar?
Well, then I'll say, let's change the strategy here and just go for the knockout, and that land.
Because he knew your strategy.
He was trying to get me.
He's like, I know what his deal.
Yeah, I'm not going to his guard. I'm not going anyway.
And then that's what it seems like these days. I mean, it's gotten so technical with MMA. It used to be like, okay, one guy's a wrestler, you're a kickboxer, you're jiu-jitsu. Now it's like everybody's pretty well-rounded, and it's gotten really technical, studying the moves, training against guys who mimic the moves of your opponent. I mean, it's crazy to me.
It's like, why now we got a lot of videos in the library of fighting videos that you can go through. Before we didn't have that,
right?
So before it was just kind of like sometimes you ask around, say, well, you know what this guy's good to,
what is he like?
And now, of course, in these days, you'll be able to find some kind of video, some kind of base to take on. So
it seems like it's taking the sport to a whole new level.
It's taking to a definitely whole new level. Anyway, UFC Japan on March next year, March 3rd.
March 3rd of next year.
And we don't know yet who's going to be fighting. They don't have no idea on the fight card yet.
However, last time it was in Japan, there was an amazing fight lineup. Yeah. And they're expecting that it's probably going to be similar.
It's going to, again, guys, Japan is the house of Pride. Pride belongs to UFC now. So UFC not gonna let that down. So it's gonna be a good show.
Yeah, Japan has a history with fights. I mean, they're gonna make it everything they dreamed of.
We're talking about place that fill up 95,000 seats.
Right. So, well, and then Japan's just the beginning, right? We had China just happen. We have Japan.
India.
UFC is going to continue to migrate throughout Asia as the years go on. I mean, that's their plan to expand.
Yes. So Dana White just had a little fight against something very unusual.
He had a fight with a 15-year-old.
15 years old. Can you believe that? Both put the gloves on and went nuts.
Not really.
Not really.
Well, he had a fight with a 15-year-old hacker, actually, who hacked into UFC.com. He's part of the Anonymous Hackers. And basically what they're doing is they're against SOPA and PIPA. They're the internet privacy acts that were proposed by the government, and these hackers are against that. And they hacked into UFC and shut it down. UFC.com, excuse me. They shut that down and said, you know what?
That kid should have done some more research about Dana.
Yeah. Dana doesn't mess around.
Dana
He's got it coming to him now.
Very personal, my friend. As you know right now that you're not going to be able to touch any computer till you become 21 years old.
Yeah. He has 6 years of banned from any internet access, any computers, unless his probation officer says he can use a computer. I mean, that's technology. He's going to miss out on 6 years of technology. It's not just, I don't have internet. It's, I'm amazing computer genius, and now I can't use my talent.
How that kid could be using his talent to, you know, making a lot of money.
Let's strike a little deal here on the side.
Anyway, kid, you're not going to be able to see us only if you have TV. You're not going to be able to see us on the www.mycombatchannel.com.
I don't think he's going to be watching UFC, though. I think he's going to be pretty pissed off.
Anyway, let's bring some glamour and some more information.
Let's bring some sexiness to this.
Sexiness. And let's bring the countdown.
Everyone, this is Erin Gales, and this is your top 10 middleweight division. At number 10, we have Yushin Okami. Number 9 is Luke Rockhold. Number 8, Brian Stann. At number 7, we have the Filipino wrecking machine, Mark Munoz. At number 6, we have Tim Boetsch. And at number 5, we have a phenom, Vitor Belfort. At number 4, we have Michael the Count Bisping. At number 3, we have Chris Weidman. Number 2, Chael Sonnen. And at number 1, we have Anderson the Spider Silva. Thank you for watching. I'm Erin Gales, and that was your top 10 middleweight division.
She's always look good. I don't know why.
And she's so sweet, too.
She is. She's a great girl. So anyway, Dominick Cruz.
Yeah, we talked about him last time.
Last time?
He was doing the pace car driving for the NASCAR.
Look what happened.
And now he got sponsored. I mean, that's what you do.
He's going to have the sponsorship right there.
Sponsoring his next fight. Phoenix International Raceway is the company that's sponsoring his next fight. And that was just simply from being a pace car driver. And that's the guy who drives and sets the pace for the cars. Now he's sponsored for his next fight.
It's a smart move.
Yeah, super smart.
It's smart, I believe, for both. You know, for them and also for the...
It's a win-win situation all the way around for everyone. You know, I mean, Dominick Cruz has a torn ACL since May, so he has been out of the game. So this is actually a great thing for him to kind of get a little promotion. Yeah, he can drive fine, and then he got a little promotion, got a little sponsorship to get his kind of oomph and confidence back in the game.
Anyway, guys, you're more than welcome to follow us up at...
Follow us at My Combat Channel on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook, My Combat Channel. You can see pictures, interviews of the fighters, all that good stuff.
If you're not happy at all, you're more than welcome to come to our studio in Beverly Hills on Cannon Drive.
Okay.
And we're going to the commercial. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, guys. I was able to catch up with Jake Shields over the weekend at the World Series of Fighting backstage. Got to find out what he's doing up to these days.
Yeah, I kind of briefly talked to him. He's getting ready. He's will be back next year again. And
finally,
yeah. You know, I
you guys don't know his story.
I honestly looked him in the eye and I told him, look, I don't know what the hell is you doing. Okay, just get back together.
Yeah.
Get your things back together.
Get it together, get back in the game.
Everybody have, good times anyway. I told him I like you a lot, and I like your ground game. I like the whole thing. I like the way you fight. And, I hope to see you on the top again. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting that.
He was on a winning streak forever until right at the last year. So, I mean, we're rooting for him.
So anyway, let's see what he has to say when Heather Storm put him against the wall.
All right, I'm here with Jake Shields at the World Series of Fighting. Now, this is a new promotion. What do you think about this?
It was the first promotion. I thought it was great for the first promotion. They had good fights, a lot of good fighters, exciting fights. It's promising for a first promotion, so it's nice to see something, some new blood out there.
Yeah. What are you doing these days?
I'm just, in between fights. I've been helping Nate Diaz get ready for his fight. He's fighting for the 155-pound title versus Vincent Henderson December 8th. So right now we're getting him ready, and then I plan on returning in February, back in the UFC. So.
Back to the UFC?
Yeah, staying with the UFC. So I can't wait to get back in the cage, and it looks like in February.
So when are you going to start training for that?
I usually have like 6 to 8 week training camps. I train year round, so I'm pretty much, I like to stay in shape, so I don't need to change my training that much, just change my diet and bring up the intensity is all.
So do you have somebody lined up in February that you're...
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't know who or where yet, so I'm just, I like to stay in shape year round, that way if something pops up, it's not too difficult to be ready.
Is there anybody in particular that you would like to get in there with?
I would love to fight, Jake Ellenberger again. That's one guy that I lost to that didn't feel like I was myself that night, and I felt like it was a thing that I just don't feel like things went down the way they should have been. So I would love to fight him again, and obviously I would love to fight whoever the champ is, which is GSP. That's a fight that I lost fair and square, but I would love to someday fight him again. But right now I know I'm not in line next. I got to go and beat someone up really bad and hopefully get my shot again.
You think just one guy and then you'll have your shot again?
Probably two. It all, you never know in the UFC. It all depends on how things are going. Things are always so unpredictable. Exactly. Right now I'm just worried about getting my next fight and hopefully choking somebody out or knocking them out and moving forward from there.
That was cool. I like that. He's a cool guy.
I like him a lot. Yeah, really good guy. And we have another good guy.
That
I interviewed at the fight.
We're going to a little history of MMA. We can say that because Pat Miletich, that's exactly the guy that Heather Storm have a chance to interview him. And you did interview him between fights.
I did. He just happened to be there catching up on the fights. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know who Pat Miletich is, I mean, this is a retired he's a retired mixed martial artist. And he does a lot of sports commentating. He also does some training of combative techniques for law enforcement, and he's been doing that for a long time. He's like super into it.
He's not doing commentaries for my combat channel because he's not better looking than me. Anyway, I was able, I told him when we were there that I was lined up to fight him, a bunch of times.
Were you?
Yeah, a bunch of times.
But it never happened.
Never happened. So anyway, what happened is the interview. Check it out.
I'm here at the World Series of Fighting with Pat Miletich, MMA legend. And tell us what you're up to these days.
Doing a lot of commentary, working with Showtime Sports, CBS Showtime, ESPN a little bit also, and Access TV, which I just called a show last night here in Las Vegas.
Oh, you're working on a show last night here in Vegas?
Yeah, the RFA. We had a great show. It was a lot of fun, and now I get to sit and be a fan here tonight. So it's nice to be able to do that. But doing a lot of commentary, a lot of traveling, and then working a lot with law enforcement and military. I've done that for about 14 years, and recently just formed a new company called Firehorse Combatives, and my partner is actually in Dallas, Texas right now, training Dallas police.
And what is that all about?
We tend to understand how to control human bodies, and if it's understood what a specific job is of, say, a law enforcement or military or special ops even, and the rules that they have to follow in terms of rules of engagement and escalation of force and things like that, we model a training for that specific job.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of complicated.
It can be. The laws with law enforcement, they kind of have their arms tied behind their back to a certain extent, but we figure out a way around that.
And is that something you've been interested in all along, law enforcement and military?
Well, it's combatives is just something that I've enjoyed. I enjoy working with law enforcement and military. It's pretty rewarding when somebody calls you and says, hey, you know, what you taught me got me out of a tight spot, and so it's good. And, yeah, I've been doing it for 14 years, and it's been a learning experience the entire time.
So you're not training people, any fighters anymore these days? Or?
I do work with guys. I still work out at the same gym and help the guys that I've helped before. Junior Hernandez, Chuck Pearce, guys like that who are little killers, 145 pounders, and several other guys. Got a lot of other guys, up and comers, amateurs and stuff that I help with, but I do a lot of coaching the coaches also, which is important. And Junior Hernandez is now the head trainer at my gym. He's great on the ground, great at striking, and I think he's probably in the very near future here, the next 145-pound world champ. I can still fight, I just choose not to.
So have you had to endure a lot of injuries or like make up for all of your fighting in the past lately? Has it caught up with you a little bit?
You know what? Not too bad, really. I mean, I don't limp when I get out of bed or anything like that, but you know, as all MMA guys, you know, that have long careers, I fought for 17 years professionally, so you know, there's a few bumps and bruises there that still linger, but I'm pretty lucky. I can still golf, I can still have fun, and you know, still be athletic.
That's a veteran for you there.
Here we
and
go.
this guy's into it.
Anyway, guys, we got, you know, amazing weekend. It was a great fight. You know, like, keep your eyes open on this organization. Don't, you know, just follow up on the UFC.
Right.
Open your eyes and your heart for every single other ones. They're putting a great job there.
That's where you're going to find the guys who are moving up into UFC too.
Yeah,
I mean, they're moving all around. So you might see them here, you might see them there, and there's a lot of good organizations out there.
And you're gonna see definitely more than us tomorrow. But now we gotta go. Our time is limited.
We'll
Have a
see
good night,
you next
guys.
time. Good night.